Innuendo, Book 5 of the Todd Mills Mystery Series. Author, R.D. Zimmerman. Publisher, Scribble Pub Press, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 29. Tim Chase sat at the dinette table in his trailer, his elbows on the table, his head bowed against his hands, which were clenched in tight fists. Was this the disaster that he had been fearing all these years? Was his world, which had been so carefully crafted, about to collapse in a heap of rubbish? There was a light knock on the aluminum door, and a small voice said, 5 minutes. Chase half turned and shut it. Fuck off! The minion, one of the many that lurked in the coattails of his fame, scurried away. He didn't care what the director insisted on. He didn't care what scene it was or how much he was needed. He didn't give a shit how much each minute of shooting was costing. He couldn't do it. They could just fucking well wait. Ah, shit. He just couldn't go out there and pretend everything was fine when actually everything was completely screwed up. There was no way in hell he was in the mood to act. No way in hell he could get into the mind of another. There was another knock, this one heavier, and a deep voice that said, It's me, Vic. Yeah. Not moving, not lifting his head in the least. Chase listened as his bodyguard opened the door and stepped into the trailer, which moved slightly under his weight. Chase wanted to kill this guy. He wanted to chop off his head right here and now, and he probably should. Chase waited a long moment before, in a low, even voice, saying, I didn't see the local news last night, Vic. I mean, I really didn't have much reason to watch it. How about you? Did you catch it? No, sir. And I really didn't have much reason to read the local newspaper this morning, even though I was up awfully early. I did read the first section of the New York Times. Oh, and during makeup, I glanced at Variety and just sort of skimmed through it. But, I'm only here for a little while, and I'm kind of busy. So why would I read the local paper, right? Am I right? Correct, but... Shut the fuck up, you moron, said Chase, slamming his right fist on the dinette table, which sent a powerful rattle rippling through the entire trailer. Can you imagine my surprise when just a half hour ago, I'm eating my turkey sandwich in the canteen, and I glance over at the local paper, and there's a big article about a knife found in some fucking lake. There's even a picture of the sheriff's divers fishing it out. Someone called it in, apparently, a tip. And now they're looking at it as a potential murder weapon for that kid. Shocking, wouldn't you say? I read the piece. Oh, you did? Did you? Yes, sir. And let me guess, that was the knife, right? I mean, as soon as I read about it, I just had this hunch that was it, wasn't it? Yes, sir. With fake curiosity, Tim looked at him with a shrug. So, what'd you think, Vic? No prob. No big deal. I can explain. Bullshit you can explain. There's nothing to explain. You fucked up everything. He jumped to his feet, looked at the stupid oaf, then turned and leaned against the cheap kitchen counter. God, you're a moron. A big fucking dumb moron. I told you to take it out of my car and get rid of it. I went down there and shut up before I fire you, and don't you dare interrupt me again. Trying not to panic, Chase told himself to just calm down, to keep a grip on things. But how could he, when his arch nemesis, the media, was dancing at the gates? God, all they had to do was get a hold of this one, and the world would be screaming for his head. He'd spent so much time worrying, fearing the day when the truth got out. He was the prince of sex and money and power, and any and every Joe Schmo reporter in the world would love to crucify him on this one. I told you to throw it away, where no one would ever find it. And the next thing I know, it's on the front page of the Minneapolis paper. What are you trying to do? Ruin me completely? What the fuck did you do? Just go down to that lake, park your car, and throw it in the water? Vic jammed his hands into his pockets and turned away. I took every precaution. A precaution? Precaution? Jesus Christ. Why didn't you just point the cops in my direction? Do you know what this means? Do you have any idea what kind of trouble this could be? I was sure no one saw me. But someone did, right? Someone saw you throw that knife into the lake. Which means they can probably identify you, too. Chase leaned back and pulled at his hair and as calmly as a madman said, "What about my Land Rover? Did you get it cleaned like I asked?" Yes, I did that yesterday while you were here on the set." "And tell me what they said down at the car wash. Any of the guys say anything about that little red puddle in the back? Anyone say, 'Gee, Mr. Vic, is that blood back here?' Anyone say that, did they, huh?" "No, sir. I washed it before I went down there." "Oh, did you?" "I can assure you that no one's going to find out. That no one's going to be able to trace it back to you." Right. But if they do, thought Tim, glaring at this idiot, I'm going to deny everything. I'm going to say I never met that kid, and that I know nothing about the knife. After all, who would they believe? Tim Chase or some glorified bouncer with a criminal record? Exactly. All they had to do was learn about Vic's past, and all suspicion would get dumped upon him. You know, I should just fire you now, for starters. I'm not going to take the fall for this. I'm just not. Second of all, the guys back in Hollywood won't let me go down. I'm just worth too much to them. As I said, I'm sorry. A heartfelt apology. Isn't that sweet? I am so, touched, you know? Chase shook his head in disgust. Why are there so many morons in the world, and why do they all work for me? I'm sure I don't know. Well, you pull one more stunt like this and you'll be working as a bouncer at the scuzziest gay bar in the world. I guarantee you that. I'm paying you a fucking fortune to get me exactly what I like and what I want, and to make sure there's no way in hell anyone finds out. One more screw up and you're out. Clear? Yes, sir. But now, of course, there was no time to waste. They had to move. Chase knew from experience and moved quickly before the cops, or worse, the media, descended upon them. Okay, I want to get the cars out of the picture. First, I want you to take my Land Rover back to the dealership and lease me another one. Tell them something like, some newspaper guy has identified the car as mine and he's been telling me all the time, so I need another color or another model or something. He put his hand to his mouth. No, wait, this is better. First, take my car. The keys are around here someplace, and drive it back to the house and just park it in the garage and leave it. Don't let anyone else have the keys. Then go back to the dealership and just buy the fucking thing. Get a check from my accountant and just do it. Sure. Then buy another Land Rover. That's exactly the same. Same model, same year, and make sure it's the same white. That's very important. And don't buy it there. Do you understand? Yes. Go to another dealership. There's got to be two in this rinky-dinky town. So go and get another identical Land Rover, and that's the one I'll use. If there are any questions, then at least it will be clean. What about my car? Yes, of course. He thought for a second and said, put it in the garage along with mine. Wait, better yet, go out and rent a garage at one of those self-storage places and put your car in there until we're through here. Until you're ready to drive straight out of town. Then this afternoon, go to another car dealership. What are you driving? A white Saab? Right, a white Saab, convertible. Fine. Then go to a Saab dealership and lease one for yourself. You can bill me. But get a totally different color. Make it green or whatever you want. I don't care. Just different. And make it a 4-door or something like that. Sure. Breaking their conversation came yet another knock on the flimsy door, and a voice that was at once both annoyed and saccharine, saying, Tim, it's me, Brian. Is there a problem? Are you all right? Can I come in and talk? Chase rubbed his eyes and groaned. It was the film's director coming to take his temperature, or more specifically, to see what the hell was holding him up. If he only knew. Go on, get out of here, muttered Tim to Vic, and tell Brian I'll be right there. Tell him I'm in the John. And Chase did just that. Escaped to the bathroom, taking a quick 2 steps into the coffin-sized room and sealing the door behind him. More often than not, a chamber like this was his only escape, his last place of refuge. Such was the price of stardom, he thought, as he leaned against the sink and slumped against the cold vinyl wall. At least, here he could lock everyone out and no one would come banging on the door every 5 fucking minutes, wondering if he was okay. With any luck, this might work. With any luck. He thought about the beautiful farm boy, his hair so blonde, his face so pure and young, and that body so broad and powerful. He remembered when Vic had first brought him by, how he'd paraded him past for Tim's approval. And he knew it right away, knew that, yes, that one would do quite well. Thank you very much. He was just so naturally pretty, so naturally masculine. You didn't find kids like that back in California, not at all. They were into too many things, fads and trends from body piercing to tattoos. But not that kid. He was untouched. A Lolita of boyness. Yet, what a mistake. What a huge fucking mistake. Suddenly, both heard and felt quick steps trooping through the trailer. The next moment, there was a rap on the bathroom door. Tim, it's me, Brian. Are you okay? You're not sick or anything, are you? You want me to get the doctor? Standing there, Chase clutched his fist and tried not to scream. For Christ's sake, I'm going potty. Do you mind? Well, how long are you going to be? We're all waiting. Let me think here. I've never been a very good judge of these things. How about 5 minutes? That good for you? Sure. 5 minutes. That's great, replied Brian. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're most certainly welcome. Sealed in the tiny room, Tim heard the director retreat, his hasty footsteps beating their way through the trailer, and then with a sigh of relief, Tim sensed the outer door open and close. Okay, he thought, as he rubbed his brow. The cars were taken care of, or would be soon, provided that Vic didn't screw up again. Now all he had to worry about was, of course, the media. Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. And in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.